There are so many Black Ops 6 movement guides out there, making it a little bit confusing on who to listen to. So I went through every single movement guide, or almost every single movement guide, and pieced together the #1 ultimate movement guide for Black Ops 6. So if you do find this video helpful, let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. Firstly, we are going to be going over every setting that you need to have if you want to have good movement. I am a controller player, but if you are on keyboard and mouse, I guarantee this video still will be very helpful. So I do use an Xbox Elite V2. I have these front buttons binded to the back of the controller, allowing me to jump shot, drop shot, and just do the movement while still having very good aim, which is super important. So I do recommend you guys to have a controller with paddles. If you don't, you can play claw, or you can swap your button layout to bumper, jumper, tactical. This is going to allow you to jump with that top left bumper, and then you can drop shot by just clicking down that right stick, and so then you still can have good aim while doing all the movement. If you guys are curious of all the aiming settings and just basically how to have perfect aim, check out my video from a few days ago. I went in depth with all the aiming settings. Now we're going to be going over the movement. One thing about the movement is having the correct dead zones. This is actually super important. For the left stick min, even if your guy walks forward by himself, still have it on 0, just so it's very responsive. And then for the left stick max, I like to have mine at 70. You want to have this between 45 and 75. I personally like 70. To test this, I'll show you guys a couple of ways, but this basically makes it so all you have to do is move the stick from the center to 70% if you want to get to max movement speed, instead of having to move it from the center all the way to the edge. I used to have it down to like 45, but then I noticed that I was messing up the movement and sliding backwards when I didn't want to as much, just because this game you can be so fluid that, to me, I think 70 is good, but just keep it between 45 and 70. You guys can copy the rest of the dead zones if you want. Now, if we tab over to the movement, I like to play with auto tac sprint on. This is the first year I'm actually playing with the auto tac sprint on, just because most of your gunfights you are going to be sliding into them, to where the tac sprint delay that you get doesn't really matter whatsoever. Although I do have less control. If I have it on, then that means if I just tap the left stick once, I'll go into attack sprint. And so you do have a little bit more control, but since you're mashing the left button, dolphin diving things into snake and stuff like that, I noticed I was just accidentally, dolphin diving way too often, where attack sprint did really save me and saves the life of my controller. So I do recommend you guys to put tactical sprint assist on. And then if you go to show more, you guys can see that, there is a delay. So you want to lower that to 0. And then the sprint assist sideways on, sprint assist backward on. For the mantle assist, you want all the mantles off, and you want the mantle assist angle on tight. Crouch assist off. Corner slice, this is just a visual effect. It doesn't give you any benefit. So if you like it, you can have it on. If you don't like it, you can turn it off. You're not going to be at a disadvantage or have an advantage either way. For the movement behaviors, for the slide/dive behavior, you want it on a hybrid. This is going to make it so you can dolphin dive and you can slide with absolutely no delay. If you go into a game and have it on tap to slide or tap to dive, you're going to notice it feels like you're underwater or you're running in mud. Hybrid is going to make it so if you want to dolphin dive, you just have to click down the left stick and hit the slide button at the same time, a little combo, and your guy will dolphin dive. Seems a little complicated, but once you're used to it, it's actually so much better and really does help you out. Then if you want to slide, all you got to do is click that crouch button. And then for the sprint restore on, slide maintain sprint on, and mantle cancels reload off. Movement advanced settings, we are going to have the auto move forward off, ground and mantle off, all these things off. This is super important, even if you have auto tac sprint on. Always have it on single tap sprint. If you have it on single tap run, there's going to be a slight delay when you do click that left stick if you want to, stand up quickly. So single tap sprint removes that delay and just overall makes everything so much more fluid. Plunging underwater, free sprinting door bash on. With all that said, that is going to wrap it up for the overall settings for the movement. Now we're going to be going over to the interface, and this is actually super important. So you are going to want to go over to the gameplay HUD. You're going to want to go to HUD presets. You're going to want to set this to standard. Tab over to visuals. Make this on square. Having a clear minimap actually helps you with the movement, because a lot of the time when I am doing the movement, I'm looking at the minimap and basing my movement off where enemies are on the movement. On the minimap and where I'm at. And so square is just super helpful for that. Minimap rotation on, radar off. Scale, I like to make the minimap at 120. You might like 150. A lot of pros have it like that. A lot of pros have it at 110. For me, I just like 120, but in the future I might increase that. And then feel free to copy all of this stuff. Minimap opacity, I like 90, and then copy that stuff. For the colors, if the game looks better, you'll hit that flow state faster. When you hit the flow state, you're not going to mess up the movement as much. So this is the color palette I really like. You can tab in this and make things more vibrant if you want. One way to make it very vibrant is to have your color filter on 2, color filter target both, and then max out both of the intensities. For the HUD bounds, you're going to want to make everything towards the center as possible. It's going to make it so you can look at your minimap and just the information on your screen without having to move your eyes so far. And then, you know, copy all of these things on here. Player names, I like to have the full name. Crosshair, this is super important. You want this on static. Crosshair dot on. Center dot scale. If you're on a big TV, you might want the largest. Default, I can't see that shit. I'm 24 years old now, and my eyes are getting worse every day, it feels like. So I like the larger. It's a little bit easier to see the enemies. And then for the crosshair color, I like blue. Green also looks pretty good, but you can change it. You can keep it on white, but I feel like white kind of blends in. So I do recommend adding a color that you think would stand out. To me, blue stands out the most. Crosshair opacity 100, crosshair spread on, and just make sure that's on static. It's going to make it so now you have these lines instead of just the dot, and it really makes the game easier. Lastly, in the graphics tab, this is going to be your field of view. If you're ever watching a player and you're wondering why they're moving so fast and you don't move that fast, it's probably because they have a higher field of view of you. The higher you increase, the more it's zoomed out it is, so then the more you see, but then all your targets are a lot smaller, which is why you see all the professional players playing on like 198 or 103. When I'm playing ranked play, I lower mine from 115 down to 103. You get a little bit more aim assist since your targets are bigger, and just overall it is so much easier to play. And there's a reason why the pros play on like 100 or 105 max, but on Warzone the map is bigger, so it's actually helpful to play on the higher FOV. And in public matches in Warzone, I'm just trying to have fun, and I think it's a lot more enjoyable to play with the higher FOV. So in conclusion, I like 115. If I'm sweating my balls off, I'm going to use 103. Find the one that you like in there. And then for the weapon field of view, you want this on wide. ADS field of view affected. And then make sure you have the motion blur off. And then all the movement down here on at least 50%. Then if you are curious of these other graphics, I do have the upscale / sharpening on fidelity, and I maxed that out at 100. Really makes the game so much more clear. Texture resolution, I would keep it on normal. For me, I just do high because I'm trying to stream and, you know, make things look good. But with all that said, that is going to wrap it up for the settings. Now let's get into the actual movement guide. Firstly, you are going to want to go into a private match, and I do warm up against bots like before every ranked session, and it really has made me already a way better player this year. Like if you get 100 kills with the Jackal and 100 kills with the Craig and just practice the movement, you will be 10 times the player. It is actually insane how much it helps. But right now, since we're just going to be going over the movement, we are not going to add any bots. I just like to go on Nuketown. Feel free to go on like, you know, all the ranked play maps or whichever map you want, and kind of like run around and learn little spots and try little, you know, corners and stuff that you wouldn't necessarily try in an actual match. And that has helped me a lot by just going into a private match and just trying all these little spots. But to keep this simple, since we're just going over the movement, I'm just going to throw it on some free-for-all, and we are going to be doing Nuketown so I can, you know, swiftly show you guys everything. For the like best perks and things that I do recommend always having double time on. It's going to make it so you can tack sprint a little bit longer, so then you don't get as many dead slides. If you're on Warzone, you can use that red perk that makes it so you can tack sprint forever. What you can also do is dexterity. In this game, whenever you're slide jumping around, your sights do boggle around a lot, and you are going to be jumping off buildings, and you don't want to take as much fall damage, which dexterity is going to help you out with that. This is going to reduce the weapon motion while jumping, sliding, diving, and you're going to take less fall damage. It doesn't help you that much, but it does help you a lot, and so I typically like to have dexterity on, especially in ranked play. And then for your class, if you do want to move around a little bit faster, since everything's like momentum based, the Ranger foregrip is helpful because it's going to increase that sprinting movement speed, which also increases the tactical sprint speed. It's just not going to be as much. Like if the Ranger helps your gun, you can sprint 6% faster. Your tack sprint increase is going to be about 4%. And then for these stocks, I like the infiltrator stock. These ones don't really help with your sprint speed at all. The no stock does help with your walking speed, but that's just about it. So that doesn't really matter too much. But you guys kind of, you know, got the gist of the good class. You could also throw on a stim, but that just helps you heal up. Warzone, it does actually give you a pretty nice speed boost. And now it's actually hopping to the free-for-all. Ladies and gentlemen, so as we all know, this game has omnidirectional movement. So that means you can sprint forward, sprint backwards, sprint right, and sprint left. You can also slide in any direction that you want, opening up a whole lot of possibilities. Keep in mind, you can only tack sprint forward. You can't tack sprint left, right, or backwards. That's one reason why I wish they would just take out tack sprint or make tack sprint the default speed to run around the map. I think it's a little bit clutterful in the game. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on that. The main thing in this game that you have to know is how to slide cancel. This year, it's really easy. All you do is slide, stand, slide, stand. Slide canceling is going to allow you to take control of the movement. You can stop the slide whenever you want. You can do a very small slide cancel, or you can do a long slide cancel. there's ways to do even a longer slide cancel. And as this video goes, it'll get more into the advanced settings. I mean, the advanced movement tips. So what I recommend you guys to do is just to run around the map, get very good at slide canceling. You know, you can ADS, you can try to slide cancel around a corner, get very fluid with the slide cancel, since this is kind of like the base of everything. This is going to be, you know, the bread and the butter of all the movements. Now, once you get good at like slide canceling forward, try to slide cancel sideways, slide cancel to the right, slide cancel to the left, slide cancel backwards. The backwards one is what feels like the weirdest. That's why I say, you know, make the minimap a little bit bigger so you can just watch the minimap and watch your guys slide backwards. Try to get very comfortable with the backward slide, since the backward slide is honestly very OP and is very, very helpful in this game. For example, if there's an enemy laying right here watching this, and I run around the corner and I see him, instead of having to turn around and do this, I can literally just slide backwards and boom. And even with the low sense, like 4-4, I can do the same thing. The sensitivity, a lot of it is just like the movement. You can make a very slow sense feel very fast. And so get very used to the backwards sliding. So now that you got the slide cancel completely down, you can slide cancel in any way very fluidly without getting that many dead slides. This is going to be the G slide. This is how you slide a little bit farther, and what you see a lot of very good players do around the map. This is a very good way to, you know, travel across the map. You want to jump, ADS slide. Jump, ADS slide. As you guys can see, you get like a majestic, nice, powerful slide, and you can feel the velocity. It's like you're going straight into the hole. Oh wait, yeah, so just jump, slide, and I recommend going around the map until you get very comfortable with this as well. And you can actually do this in any way. Backwards feels pretty weird. You can do it sideways, and a lot of it's momentum based. So if you're already moving pretty fast, you're gonna slide even farther. And so get very fluid at doing this in any direction. This is gonna be extremely helpful. I don't use it too much in a gunfight because you don't move that fast, but it is a good way to be ready for the gunfight and a good way to go around the corner. If there's an enemy right here, instead of just running, you know, I can go boom, and you know, it just makes it so you just travel around the corner faster, which that can break the enemy's camera. When you break someone's camera, that means you're seeing them before they see you. Because we're playing a video game, all the information goes from your you know, house to a server, to them, back to the server, back to you. And so if you are moving faster around the corner, you're gonna see them first, so then you have the peeker's advantage, which is very broken. And that's why a lot of pro players ban the like the auto tack sprint, because you can, if you tack sprint like around a corner, it can really, it just is super fast on the enemy screen to where you are seeing them completely before they see you. That's why a lot of the time, if you've noticed, like if you're holding an angle like this and someone knows you're there and they just go like that, they usually win the gunfight strictly because they see you first. So I was going to show you guys a third-person perspective of me doing all this movement so you guys can see really what it looks like in game. But no matter what I do, I cannot get theater mode to work. If someone could help me out, that would be awesome. But I am so incredibly sorry, I cannot show you guys what it actually looks like. I do recommend you guys to hop into a private match with a friend and do the movement against each other so you guys can really see how it looks. Or if theater mode is working for you, you can just check it out for yourself. But yeah, I just want to say I'm so sorry I can't make the production of this video a little bit higher. After you've mastered the G slide, the regular slide cancel, I want you to master the double slide. So in this game, if you hit the slide button when you're in the air, you will slide again. Like watch, I'm gonna jump, slide. And so I hit the slide button in the air, and right when I landed, I slid again, making me a very hard target to hit. And I'm just moving around very fast, allowing me to get a lot of information so I can give that to my teammates or use that for myself in the gunfight. And, you know, obviously for the bigger ones, like for the bigger ledges, it's a lot easier to time this. But you can do this forward, backwards, left, right. And so I recommend getting very good at like every object and just getting really good at the double slide. And, you know, like this car, you can do it off this. Very difficult though, because you got to time it in the air. You can even do it off this, and a lot of people won't expect it. Like if someone's over there, you can basically jump on this, slide, and then boom. They're not going to expect that whatsoever, because you are going to be moving so fast around the map. It just gets a little bit hard to like time it on the small objects. And so practice a lot on the rank play maps, move around the map, look at every little object and try to like see if you can do a little double slide. You even can do it on this. Let's see if I can slide. Yeah, see, you do it on everything. If you can time an ADS in there, you're going to become a very good player, but it takes a lot of practice, so definitely spend some time practicing that. For the last type of slide mechanic, this is going to be the slide into a prone. This can make you look like a dead body, and it just really messes with the enemies like hitbox, like their aim assist when they're shooting at you, making it a little bit easy to get the kill. So basically what you do is just jump, ADS, slide, slide, and then you pull back on the right stick. Oh, I messed it up right there. You're going to jump, slide, slide. And then when you do that, you can see your legs. When you see your legs, you know you kind of did it correctly. And it's going to really mess with the enemy's hitbox. So let's do it again. We're going to jump, slide, slide. You have to basically stop as you're sliding. If you jump, slide, and then do it, your guy's just going to lay down, which still kind of works. But if you jump, slide, slide, jump, slide, slide, then your guy's going to be like immediately laying down on his back. And it is very, very trippy. So sometimes I'll do this if the enemy is chasing me. I'll like run away, jump backwards, slide, slide, and then I'll be like this on the ground, and then they won't see me, and then I get the kill. And so this is actually definitely like the most awkward one to do. And so you can chain them together. You can do your G slides, jump around, and boom, and then, you know, land into the slide. So you can sometimes do it in the doorway, and the enemy will never expect that, like if they're right there. So really actually get good at doing that, like in doorways at like every single angle, and just try to get like full control of that. I really want to leave the private match until you get full control, and do this every single day so you can build up the muscle memory and try to apply that in your game, and you'll be surprised how good you get. So now that you guys mastered all the slides, you can slide cancel in any way. You can do the G slide, you can do the double slide, the slide into a prone. Time for the bunny hop. So in this game, you can't really bunny hop left to right. Like if you try to run, slide, like jump and try to bunny hop, it just really, you don't go anywhere. You're just gonna die. Like jump shotting in this game really isn't that good, even with dexterity, but you can see like the sides sway a lot and you'll miss bullets that you shouldn't miss. But you actually can do a decent bunny hop backwards. I know it doesn't look too crazy, but it's actually decent. You can slide back and then jump, and you can get a decent bunny hop. I don't really use this too much in game, but it is good to know. It is actually pretty difficult to get it down, but you could like boom, boom, and it doesn't look crazy, but you are jumping on the enemy screen. And so this is what I mean by like situational. Sometimes, you know, you just gotta know when to do it. Another thing that you can do is this is called like a frog hop. Basically you jump, slide into a prone, and then you just mash your jump button, and it makes your guy like pop up out off the ground like a frog. But I don't really use that too much in my games, because like the time to kill is so quick that you're gonna typically be already dead. And you know, it's pretty hard to do it consistently. Usually I just, you know, kill the enemy. And but that is, you know, a B hop type thing that it is good to learn how to do. For the next thing, this is going to be the dolphin diving. So if you're on hybrid, all you gotta do is click down that left stick and then your slide button, and your guy will dolphin dive. You can dolphin dive backwards, you can dolphin dive to the left, and you can dolphin dive to the right, making it so, you know, you can really jump in any way. Although if you do that in a gunfight, you'll typically die. If there's a guy right there and you go to dolphin dive, he's going to kill you. His aim assist is going to go crazy and perfectly track you to where dolphin diving is only good to get out of a certain situation, or if you hit your legs on a ledge, it'll actually make it so you can stand up instantly. So if I go dolphin dive there, because my legs hit that ledge, I instantly stood up and I was ready for the gunfight. So if there's an enemy waiting for me right here, sometimes I'll just for fun, you know, I'll go boom. Okay, don't look at that one. That one is not good. See, I'm a very good player. I've hit iridescent many times, and I'm still messing up on this stuff, so don't let it get to your head too much. I'm fucked up again. Boom, I'm ready for the gunfight. I looked a little bit sloppy, but you can basically do that on any object. You can do that on this car, and you're instantly up. But if I do that, you know, if I miss the car, there's a pretty big delay, and it just doesn't feel that good. But if I can hit the car, boom, we're instantly, you can do it on these trash cans. And so go on the rank play maps and find like every little object that you can do that on. Like on protocol, there's so many little ledges, and you just gotta hit literally your legs on the ledge, and then boom, I'm already up. And so like Shotzi does this a lot in his maps, I mean in his matches, and it just really throws the enemies off, because like say there's like a hallway, and you know this is here, say there's like a wall right here, he's gonna get information by just going, okay, he would hit his legs there, instantly stand up and be at the edge and be able to kill the enemy right there. So definitely learn how to dolphin dive and hit the ledge very consistently, and you'll see how much that helps you. What you can also do is melee in the air. So if you're on the default settings, you can just click down on that, hold down on that right stick, and you pull out the melee. And I can like basically land on a ledge, or I can just, you know, dolphin dive and melee in the air. And people really don't expect that. Like, I've actually done it where someone's like, you know, on the ledge, I mean on the doorway, and I'll just boom, like that, and you get a little bit of lunge in there. It's actually pretty fun. You can even, you know, run around, boom, land on the, you know, have your legs hit the edge of that, and then you're standing up and you got the knife out. And I do actually travel around the map a lot with the knife out. It's just you're gonna die a lot if you try to do this in your gunfights. But sometimes, you know, it will work out. And right there, I just landed on my feet because my feet hit that, and I had the knife out, and boom, I can knife someone right there. With all that said, that's basically all the stuff for the dolphin dive. So we covered all the sliding, the dolphin dive, the little bee hop. Now let's go over like a couple situations and how you're actually gonna challenge the enemy with the movement. First off, the YYs don't help you whatsoever. The only reason I do it is because I swear I got some Call of Duty ADHD. Like, it just lowered my attention span so much to where I just need to be hitting a button. One thing that the YY is nice about is that it kind of keeps your fingers moving. So if there is an enemy, I feel like I have a little bit of a better reaction time when I do YY a little bit around the map, but it's not really needed. You'll see all the very good players, they don't YY whatsoever. So honestly, don't really YY. I just have a addiction to it. Now, so we did go over the breaking of a camera. You know, if there's an enemy right there, I can like jump, slide, boom, and I'll see them before they see me. If I want to get information, I'm gonna shoulder. This is super helpful. Instead of just like running out there, I can literally just peek it, and then I can go out there. And doing that just gives me the information that I need to know if I should take the gunfire or not, or I can call that out to my teammates. And so after you shoulder the corner and you see an enemy, there's a couple different ways you can take the gunfight. You can slide into it. You can do the jump slide into it. I don't really recommend that because the enemy's going to see you as you're jumping, and it's just like, you know, you don't need to do that. I'd rather just slide, boom, fire. I don't really jump shot in this game. When you jump ADS, your ADS gets slowed down, so I really just don't recommend jump shotting as much in this game. Plus your sights bobble a lot to where you're going to miss a lot of shots. What I like to do is first, you know, the slide cancel like that, or I will drop shot the corner. I don't really drop shot mid gunfight at all because there's like a weird delay in this game to where it just kind of gets you killed. But you can basically drop shot a corner, like start the drop shot as you're going around the corner. I even do this to like check corners. Like, that is a very, very helpful mechanic, is to just drop shot. But as you guys can see, the delay is kind of getting me. I think it's like after you do a couple, it does slow down. And so basically, I don't really jump shot in this game. I really don't jump shot. I just kind of, you know, slide into almost every single gunfight. And I barely even drop shot. I only drop shot if it's around a corner. Drop shotting around the corner is very helpful, and you can like start the fire, boom, right around it. Yeah, for the next situation, say there's an enemy on this head glitch, they are kind of waiting for me, and let's say I come out of this. A lot of people, including myself, will just run forward, slide, and try to kill him. Like, we'll just slide cancel in front of him. What a professional player or a very, very good player would do is basically slide sideways and kill him. Sliding sideways is gonna mess up the hitbox, makes you a way harder target to hit instead of just going like this. If you run and go sideways and shoot, sideways slides in the gunfight is super helpful. You could even do a little shimmy movement slide, but that's more so in Warzone because you have more plates. Because if you kind of do this in the gunfight, you're probably gonna die because it's not too difficult to hit you. But what I'm basically trying to say is try to utilize the sideways slides. If someone catches you off guard and they're behind a head glitch, slide sideways. Don't slide forward like a lot of people do. Slide sideways. Or you could even slide backwards into the prone, like if I go... Oh, but I'm actually messing up right there, so definitely I need some more practice. But don't slide forward at them. Slide sideways, whichever way, just not forward. But the last two tips to wrap up this video, these are very messed up and everyone's gonna hate you, and you're kind of scummy if you do these. I always do one of them, I don't do the other, and I don't even really want to show people the other because people are gonna abuse it and it's just fucked up, and the enemies are gonna do it against you, and then it just ruins the game for everyone. This is going to be snaking and stair cheesing. Snaking, basically lay down, sprint forward, lay down, sprint forward, lay down, sprint forward. When you do this, the enemy only sees your head just like flashing above, but you see their whole body. So I'm just laying down, running forward, laying down, running forward. I kind of click down on that left stick and run forward. So lay down, click the left stick, run forward, lay down, and I'm moving backwards. So I'm kind of going in like a spiral motion where I'm kind of doing this. And if you're in Warzone, you actually can play it up as you're doing this. So just lay down, sprint forward, lay down, sprint forward, lay down, sprint forward, lay down, sprint forward, over and over. And I'm just kind of going in a motion, and this allows me to see the whole enemy without them seeing me at all. So I can heal up and then boom, take the gunfight. Boom, heal up, take the gunfight. It is a little bit slow, but it's also still extremely broken in this game, especially on the headies where like when you're crouching or standing up, you know, all like the enemy barely can see your head. And so the better the heady, the more broken snaking is. And I utilize that a lot, and it's actually banned in the professional matches. If they do that, they get like a red card and things like that. This next thing is going to be stair cheesing. This map isn't the best to demonstrate it on, but basically if you lay down on a ledge like stairs like this and you have your sights just above, all the enemy sees is like your forehead and the name tag, and that is extremely difficult to hit. And like aim assist gets so messed up to where you don't really have any, but then over here you see the enemy completely, but the enemy only sees the tip of your forehead. And unless you're KSI, you're never dying on a stair cheese, ever, ever, ever. And it is super messed up. Like if the enemies start doing to me, I'll start doing to them, and then the whole match is chalked. But I will never do this. This is banned in the professional matches as well. So the more you can get down on stairs like that, the more broken it's going to be. Right here, you know, you're looking down, so it's not too bad. But if it's like a flat, you know, all flat, and this is like just stairs to get up to like a flat surface, and it's pretty big up here, that's going to be extremely broken. And in this game, you actually can kind of do it like this. If I'm on a nuke, I will definitely, like if I'm on a nuke streak, I'll definitely do this. But yeah, I think that is going to wrap it up in this video. If I did forget anything, let me know in the comments, and if it was helpful, make sure you do leave a like so people like more people know it's helpful. Right there, you guys can see I hit my legs on there. I missed that, but I hit my legs on there, so I was perfectly fine, stood up. And yeah, if I missed anything, I'll do an updated video. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys become very good at the game. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're on our way to 200,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for watching. You guys all have a good night. Hope you guys don't run into any hackers, and deuces.